Um, who broke my audio? What's going on here? Who broke my doggone audio? What in the hell? Who broke it? Let's try that again. Let's just try it one more time.
The announcement is this. I'm going to be doing a Google Hangout next Friday. Not today, but next Friday. And that particular Google Hangout will be focused on primarily one thing. I'm asking everyone to bring their own personal rap to this particular Google Hangout.
I'm going to expose myself on YouTube. I'm going to make a YouTube video embarrassing myself.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I got to tell you about the fabulous, most groovy
G-Man.
You know you're breaking the law right now.
I will stomp a mud hole in you, sir.
I am not playing, Dragnet.
My name is G-Man. You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity. My name is G-Man. You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence. My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man. No big in this guy, man. My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man. You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City. G-Man, you got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity. My name is G-Man. You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence. My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man. No big in this guy, man. My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man. You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries.
Hey, so what's going on, folks? I don't know if you guys know, but Bill Ludlow has a Patreon. And guess who has two thumbs and is going to become a patron? This guy. So fuck yeah, along with Scientist Mel and Geek Room, Fuck Talking Shit Tuesday. I think this is a worthy cause, tackling creationism, because you know what? Bad science ain't helping nobody. So if y'all like the shit that Bill Ludlow does, or if you've never actually seen Bill Ludlow's shit, go check it out. It's a more worthier cause than my fucking Patreon, because I've yet to upload the video that I was supposed to upload like a week ago. So there you go. Anyway, folks. So some of y'all were asking, what is an intellectual rapist? Yeah. When you find out, you're gonna go, oh, that's what he means. Okay, yeah. It's one of those. But before we get to that, the comments. Oh, I forgot to pull up the other one. So the screenshots. So this sock account is definitely not someone trolling G-Man to get a reaction out of him. This says Ridgeway for Shanny 1. Ridgeway number 234 454 is active. Operation Revenge for Shani is underway. Underneath it, someone named Gary Moore says Order 33 has been enacted. The Garys are going live and flagging you down. First, we took your job. Next, we take your channel. And then underneath it, Steve Ridgway, Order 33 received. Ridgway number 4564 active. Bots are awaiting signal for flag campaign. We took your job. Next, we take your channel. Definitely not random people trolling him at all. This is totally serious. This is an actual effort. He needs to be in fear for his life. So, now, most of y'all who are adults, who know how the internet works, who aren't fucking retarded, excuse me, I should not say that. There are people who are actually mentally handicapped and understand that this is trolling. Evidently, someone has missed the bus, and no other than David Weiser. Good old David Weiser. If there is a hill to die on that is absolutely wrong, David will beat everyone else to the bottom, going to the top. It does not matter. He will claw and scratch to be the first person to down that hill. I really have to hand it to David. If there any bad decision in life, it seems like he takes it. Like, I don't know what it is with David. It's like you literally strive to be fucking stupid. So let's read David's comment because he's smart. So G-Man has no right to his own opinions and free speech. David, you should probably read the First Amendment, okay? Someone trolling you on your channel has nothing to do with free speech at all whatsoever. At all. Someone taking down your channel is not equivalent to the government stopping you from saying what you want to say. Please quit saying dumb things, David. Please, stop it. Stop it. You sound dumb. Disagree with him? Fine. Don't like him? Fine. Leave rude, snarky comment that needs a comment there, David. Fine. Causing actual, real life harm? Not fine. And likely criminal. Why don't you all get lives? David, how about you crawl out of G-Man's crotch and get a life? Clearly, people are trolling him like they've always done. Where the fuck have you been? Oh, wait. You're new to the bandwagon. That's okay. You'll learn soon enough. Open up your wallets, close your mouth, and stand on the sidelines when G-Man needs a cheerleader. Because that is now your role in life. Congratulations. You suck enough dick with G-Man, your mouth will start burning. Who's that? ST donated $5. Now I gotta find this shit again. There we go. What is it? God damn it. That was me again in the comments. I wanted to get him heated before the debate. You're welcome. ST, don't tell me that you left a troll comment and he believed it. I gotta find the other one where he says it's a threat. Anyway, I gotta find the threat post that he made. So folks, actually I might be able to click here and find it.
So anyway,
oh, Jesus. I think it's here. Here we go. There we go. All right. Can y'all see this? Y'all see that? I just received a threat, THRET, from Gary Ridgway. He said we took your job and now we gonna take down your channels. ... Who is we? LOL, I guess Dragnot and Sabella couldn't handle the rap. You're right on that. I couldn't handle it at all. It was terrible like the rest of them. Wasn't as bad, but it was terrible. He also said revenge for Shani. I guess Shani is in on it too. Or these atheists want to make it look that way, ... laughing my butt off, ... I have said a year ago, these people want in fighting, between Christians or those who call themselves Christians, ... I believe that account is owned by Sabella Shepherd and not Look a Pig. Now, if you stop to think for a second, if he thinks that there's going to be infighting between Christians caused by atheists, wouldn't it be more than likely a non-Christian was behind it? But then you just said it was owned by Sabella, who would be a Christian. Does that make any sense to anybody else? Like it? Okay. Like he was getting close. Atheists trolling him. That was pretty fucking close to what's true, but that will continue. Go to the comments on GTV and my main account to see ... Honestly, I don't care. These people have labeled me so many things. Who cares what they do? I care that you don't know how commas work. And that is severely bothering me. That is anytime you see like the fucked up ellipsis, like ... just imagine a comma is supposed to be there. Just bear with me, because this is painful. This is painful. Drag not to disagree a bit. Vigilante actions that go beyond speech itself, science that have to do with the First Amendment. You could make the argument that someone hindering what you say has to do with the concept of free speech overall, sure. But the actual constitutional amendment for free speech has to do with the government. So if he is saying just people are trying to silence him, I got that. So I will agree with you on that. Honestly, I got that. So I don't know. I do know this. If it happens, you all know the first channels I'm coming for. It's a bunch of exclamation points after that. These people crack me up. God is supposed to be the evil one, but every single day they prove no one is as wicked as a atheist. And here's a picture of him straight from the clinic. His PP no longer burns. So here we go, folks. The comments. Oh, geez. He look, participation trophy. Oh, look at him. Oh, little Pooh Bear. Look at him. He looks like, you ever see those big-headed kids on the street corner waiting to go to like the first day of school, and their parents are taking pictures of them and they look stupid? They look stupid as hell. That's what this looks like. You ever see them kids? My child doesn't look like that, but some of them kids look stupid. I'm sorry, some of y'all's kids look stupid. This is what G-Man looks like. All right, stand up straight. Stand up straight, honey. Okay, I want to take. All right, give a big smile for mama. Okay, all right. That's the best as you gonna stand up. I know you ain't all there. Your daddy dumb. All right, so that's mean as hell. All right, let me get to this stupid fucking video. Jesus. I was listening to some of it. I fell asleep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries. I am G-Man. I am back here on YouTube, and I'm ready to start making my videos again. Took a month off. Had a very busy work schedule.
He didn't take a month off. Like, he lasted, I think, 5 days, and he started posting shit again.
I wasn't, like, dipping and paying attention to a little bit of what's been going on YouTube. But now that I'm back, I hope a lot of you enjoyed the Dragoon diss track. A lot of you said it was pretty good. I worked really hard on it. And I'm thinking about making another one. But
how many of y'all actually listened to the Dragoon diss track? Did y'all actually see that? How many people actually saw that?
It's not going to be about them. I'm just going to make one in general, and I want to make one that's a little bit more gospel-oriented. So, I mean, we'll see. I got to see how much time I have to do something like that. But in this particular video, I want to talk about why atheists, in my opinion anyway, are intellectual rapists. Before I even go there, I do want to let everybody know a little bit about my time off. You know, like I said, I was working. I've been able to think about some things, to evaluate some things, and to look at myself, which I needed to do badly, and just be able to just refresh and re-energize my batteries and everything. I've been speaking to people like Leader for Christ and like Brother Veckel, and
I speak to people that are gonna kiss my ass too all the time. So if you guys hadn't listened to it, I have not listened to the whole thing. I probably listened to about half because it's fucking terrible. And so I wanted to get, I should have done a reaction video to it, honestly. But I had like 6 people fucking send it to me, so I'm like, listen to this stupid shit. All right, so if you don't know where this is from, this is on Rev News' channel. Rev wanted to do an interview, so I said, all right, fine, let's do an interview. All right, kind of knew where it was going. Just let it go. Just let it happen. It was fun. Might do it again. Who knows? But yeah, I don't. His audio is really low. It's all the way up for me. I got Streamlabs turned all the way up. I got to turn up your stuff, so I don't know what to tell you. I have everything all the way up. Let me turn this up.
So welcome, Dragnaut. How are you? This is going to trigger G-Man so bad. You realize that?
This is a Southbeat production.
It's all about Christ. He's coming back soon. But before he returns, how district goes. You got the audacity to talk about learning. I speak for us Christians.
And we think you're boring.
Drag met me once for a couple of hours. He thinks he's an expert on how I shower. His followers are lost. They believe every word.
Okay. Me and a few other people had a question. Who the fuck is this? Who is this? What, like, did he put Ken Jones in a blouse and some tights and told him to shake that ass for a fucking Krispy Kreme? Like, who is this? And why has G-Man got a video of her? Like, is this his sister? Did he catch his sister, like, washing dishes and was like, you know what? Use this in a video. Fuck, hell yeah. Shake it fast, but watch yourself. You got the mortgage to pay. Can't be knocking down this apartment.
His followers are lost. They believe every word. Drag lies so much, even its truth is absurd. So learn this lesson from back in your youth. You'll never stop us Christians from preaching the truth. Review this quote here, YouTube troll. Sabella sold out. Satan controls her soul. She plays both sides with demonic precision. You're not preaching the cross. You're causing division. School is for learning, not to boast in your heart. You're so dumb you make Shanny look smart.
Talking about my wife.
Can you imagine that you see him just walking around with his phone and he's just making random faces and just doing like emoting and like what is he doing? He's taking video so he can use it in his own music video and a diss track, because that's what we do now, I guess. I'm not sure why Shanny's ex-husband appears in a Dragoon diss track, but all right.
You can't rock with me, you're not even close. Your odds would be better if you had the Holy Ghost. You say I can't rap and I ain't got no flow. I'm a born-again Christian trying to save you trolls. You're a once-upon-a-timer who would sell out your mama. You're an unevolved rat who can't handle the drama. So put on your shirt, stop looking so hideous. Drag, you're a joke, nobody takes you serious. You're not a good guy and you're evil to the core. Only the blood of Jesus can save that view, whore.
All right, this picture's funny. Do y'all actually know where he got this picture from? I'm pretty sure you know. But do you know what I was doing in this video? Do you know why this picture exists? And I think he doesn't remember who I was imitating here. And I think if he remembered, he might not have used that one. But I'm going to see if someone in the chat can actually remember who I was imitating in this picture. Oh, God. I think there's a delay. Yeah, I think I set up some type of delay. I gotta fix the delay. Kind of sucks. I was making fun. Yep, the other J. I was making fun of Antonio. This was me making fun of Antonio Fletcher.
To stop the persecution, get rid of evolution. We got the solution, it's the Christian revolution. The Lion of Judah will return real soon. He's gonna light a fire to burn the dragoons. You two Christians are hated today, because we read our Bibles and we do what it said.
Today and says. Is that what he's trying to rhyme here? I think I just heard her knees crack. Man, I can feel the heat.
Of course, I'm referring to Shay. For Christ, of course. Who else could I be referring to? And just...
The fuck? All right. Let's get back to it, folks.
And Vaughn and some other brothers and sisters here on YouTube, like Sister Cherry and some people, and True Empiricism and some other people. I can't think of everybody. When I wasn't active on YouTube making videos, I've had conversations with these people and I talk to them. So, you know, I mean, it is what it is. I've stayed in contact with people. But at the end of the day, I feel refreshed. I feel energized, and I'm ready to get back to work. So I want to talk about this idea that atheists are intellectual rapists here real quick, guys. First of all, let's talk about what a rapist is to begin with. A rapist is someone...
All right. So let's try and figure out what a rapist is. If I had to guess, it's someone who rapes. A rapist is a person who rapes. As in, you violate someone sexually against their will, without their consent. If I had to guess. That's kind of my rough definition. So, an intellectual rapist is exactly that. I'm forcing my intellectual penis inside you. Forcing it.
That is a person who forces themselves on somebody sexually. I'm not even going to say a woman, because these days men are being raped. You know what I mean? But usually if you force yourself on someone sexually and you have intercourse with them, you're raping them or whatever, right? But the key word there is to force.
Okay, I can barely hear him either. He's mumbling. This is kind of what kids do. So I apologize, folks. I'm really trying to turn this mumbling bullshit up louder. G-Man, you should probably speak with your big boy voice so people can hear you.
That atheists are intellectual rapists in the sense that they are forcing what they believe is education on other people. In our school systems, in our school system today. Oh, exactly. Jungle jargon. School system. Our children are forced to believe that evolution is science. There is no, back and forth that you can have with the professor or with the teacher or anything like that. They literally force you to accept evolution as being biology. Even though you have adults from all different walks of life.
You can kind of tell that G-Man really hasn't had any experience in college, because that's really how things work. I'm not sure what bullshit he went to, but you can actually contest damn near anything, depending on, especially if it's like a government class and you're discussing, or like a philosophy class. That's kind of, some of them are designed for that. At even an art class, you can discuss that. And so if you wanted to discuss, I don't know, what is and is not science, that I just actually took a course. A seminar in biology actually discusses what is and is not science. So it's interesting that the guy who has not actually had this type of experience is making these claims. Jungle jargon, again, somebody who's just as uneducated as him, is saying these things. It's really interesting. It's really, really interesting to me, but that's okay. Go ahead, G-Man. Tell us how college is, because we know you have so much experience there.
Including scientists themselves that are telling people that they need to be skeptical about the theory. Okay?
You can look at the fossil record. You know, it's funny how evolutionists can look at the fossil record and come to the conclusion that
What does he mean? Look at the fossil record. When he says things like that, I can tell that he's parroting someone else. He heard someone else say, "Look at the fossil record," so that's just a quick bumper sticker statement that he can use to try and reference an area or a field that he is wholly unfamiliar with. Right? He knows to mention Tiktaalik when he can pronounce it on that day, but other than that, like, what is he referring to? Looking at homology, like what, is it certain morphologies that he is finding that coalesce with other pieces of evidence to drive macroevolution as being factual scientific evidence? Like, what is it specifically? You haven't really heard much from him other than what he's heard other people say. He's not looked at any fossils. He's not looked at any fossils other than what we fucking showed him in New York, which he really didn't pay much attention to that because, you know what, he didn't want to debate, he didn't want to argue. So, hey.
that evolution is true, because there are other scientists that look at the fossil record and say evolution is not true. It's funny how they can look at matter and energy and come to the conclusion that evolution is true. And you have other scientists that will look at matter and energy and say, no, there must be a creator, because all of these things had to be caused or created by something or someone. You simply saying that we don't know yet demonstrates your bias. You know what I mean?
Saying you don't know demonstrates bias. Remember that, folks.
And telling a child, listen to me. Don't listen to these religious people. Don't listen to me. Evolution is true, and you must accept it. If you don't, you will be mocked and ridiculed by other human beings that takes this stuff so serious that it's considered a religion.
Y'all notice something? It's not about being wrong, right? It's not about having those factual information. It's not trying to make sure that you have the best grasp on reality. His focus is being mocked and ridiculed. That should tell you something. I can be wrong about anything. Literally anything. My concern is that I don't understand what I think I understand. That's troubling. But for him, it is being mocked and ridiculed by other people. That's his focus. And no, I can't turn him up. He's mumbling. I've tried to mess with Streamlabs. I'll try and see if there's some other options here, but it's just that he can't use his big boy voice, it seems.
And that's what they're doing, and they're trying to force you, to accept these things as being true. Okay. Another thing that I noticed that these people are trying to force on you intellectually is their brand of morality. Notice, they're not trying to persuade you. They're not trying to educate you about this. They're trying to force you to accept these things. And what they're trying to force you to believe is that morality is subjective. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to have a debate today. Modern Day Debate kind of changed the date on me because he had things he had to do. But Hugo and Jake is going to be debating me today on is man more moral than God? If anybody...
Okay, let me... so he had that debate today, and it seems like he went full G-Man. It seems like it, folks. It seems like he went full fucking G-Man. I don't know how else to describe that. People were sending me messages about how he couldn't deal with the folks in some way, shape, or form. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look at it, I guess, one day. I'm trying my best to turn this stuff up, folks. Let me see. Sound, no. Yeah, I'm trying to check my audio on everything. Yeah, so okay, I'm looking at the. I'm not sure if I'm going to review that, but it looks like here. Yeah, so this one guy who was in the chat, he says it was low too. So the original video is low. He's just like he's just not able to speak like an adult.
Nobody's ever heard me talk about this. You're probably scratching your head and wondering why these people are even going to even have this conversation with me. I'm glad they are, because they're going to get an education today. All right. So these people want you to believe that morality is based on your own personal opinion. But what they won't tell you, for us thinking people, what they won't tell you is that the people who believe that morality is subjective are typically criminals. The people out there going out there raping people, murdering people, robbing people, going out there committing all kinds of horrendous crimes are operating on their own personal opinion. Then we as a society will lock these people up.
All right, so it's not the fact that people who are criminals don't really care. They understand that what they're doing is immoral, but they have a disregard for it. It's the fact that they have subjective morals, because that's how criminals work, evidently. I didn't know that. That this is new to me. So all criminals have subjective morals. So I wonder how he came to that conclusion. It may be because, and some of you might have picked up on this, but G-Man, getting a bunch of messages. Okay. When G-Man talks about morality, he knows to mention objective morals, which in his mind, the only set of objective morals come from God, like divine command theory. That's it. Like, he really doesn't recognize anything else. Everything else by default, that outside of that, has to be subjective. You might have heard Veckel say this at some point, because these are blood brothers. They have a weird, intellectually incestuous relationship where none of them can really think outside of each other's assholes. So it's not that people like, I don't know, Ozzy actually acknowledge that, you know what? I do believe in objective morals to some degree. Ask him. There's quite a few atheists who do believe in an objective set of morals. In fact, you could say that there were even hangouts discussing that between skeptics. He doesn't acknowledge that at all. He's been told this before, but he doesn't care. That's because G-Man lies, and he's an idiot. And G-Man lies, and he's an idiot. So it's interesting for him to try and put this out there. Like this, it's, you know what? Since criminals commit crimes, they must believe in subjective morals, because in their mind, the crime is moral, and that's what makes it okay. Because that's how atheists think, and atheists are criminals because atheists lie. Aha! I got it. Like, he thinks stupid shit like that. But it's G-Man.
In prison for operating under their own opinions. But that's what they're trying to get you. That's how they're trying to get you to live your life. Everything is based upon what you think and what your own opinion is, rather than telling you that there are absolutes. If you steal, it's wrong all the time. And one of the tricks that they like to try to use when they try to argue that stealing isn't wrong is, and it is a trick, it's a Jedi mind trick that they like to use. They like to say something along the lines of, well, what if you steal to do something good with what you're going to take? You're still wrong.
So what G-Man's trying to reference here is something like thought experiment, right? Anybody who's ever sat down and had a discussion about morality with the trolley problem, you can kind of see where he's going with that. How morality can change based on the scenario. Like, is it wrong if I'm lying to save the Jews that are in the attic? Well, lying is bad generally. Why? Because it's not the truth. Okay. Telling the truth will result in people dying needlessly. So am I then complicit in helping people get murdered? Am I supposed to feel good about that? So then what's the purpose of morality if it doesn't actually, if this particular moral stance, if it doesn't produce good in the world, in society? Like, what is the utility of that? But it's easy it's easy for people of his caliber just to defer to a deity to tell him what to do, because as you see here by this face, thinking isn't his strong suit. So let me just put the thinking to the side. You know what? I believe in this entity, and this entity gives me whatever I need intellectually, and so I'll just parrot whatever I can, and that is perfect. Less thinking, more doing. Easy.
They don't like to hear is that you have a moral lawgiver or a judge who can give you a pass. And this is what Jesus Christ has done for us Christians. They hate this idea. That's why they argue so hard for their, for their subjective morality. They don't care if they got to lie, cheat, and deceive people to believe these kind of things. But these people will continue to try to force this stuff on you. And if you don't accept it, you will be ridiculed by these people. You'll be cyberbullied. You'll be called all kinds of stupid, all kinds of names, and everything else in the book. And
You could try not being stupid if you don't want to be called stupid. That's fine. I don't. Maybe it's just me, but hearing grown adults, well, people in somewhat adult bodies, say that they're being cyberbullied, I'm just, I got a problem with it. Not gonna lie, I've been actually bullied in real life, and so I'm just like, no, I'm sorry. The best victim in the world, you are not, G-Man. I am so sorry. Cry in Veckel's bosom, or Ken Jones's ass, or wherever you need to cry, because it ain't working here, Chief. It ain't working here. Your entire channel is dedicated to cyberbullying Black Hebrew Israelites, but that's okay, because God. Oh, and David Weiser told you it's okay too, because that's if y'all didn't know that, like, David did actually make that argument, because I make videos about G-Man, and David cried in Veckel's live chat a few months ago about that, and I said, well, G-Man's entire main channel is dedicated to Black Hebrew Israelites, so how is that different? Oh, well, he has a religious conviction. That's different. Oh, really? So if I feel religiously convicted to do the same thing that he does, then it's even, right? Woo, boy, the mental gymnastics all day long. And these folks wonder why I call them out. Like, that's fucking stupid. Absolutely fucking stupid. But what can you expect from David Weiser? What can you expect from G-Man? What can you expect from Beckel? There's a reason. There is a reason why they're idiots. They do idiotic shit.
And I agree with Jungle Jargon said earlier. It's child abuse. It is child abuse when you try to force these things on your children, because you're actually taking away their ability to think. How are you guys, like, how do atheists even come to the conclusion that they're thinking people when you can't have two different propositions and you can look at both of them for what they are and decide for yourself whether or not a proposition is true? You're not thinking if you're just saying this or that.
So at what point has he observed this not happening? I'm not, well, it's weird. So he gives this scenario as if he's not the one that's been watching atheists do that. He mentioned earlier, well, he somewhat referenced earlier the trolley problem. Well, what do you do in the trolley problem? You have the two tracks and you have the two scenarios that you can choose. That's exactly what he's describing here that atheists don't do, which is weird, because I've been in numerous conversations with Floyd, Saka, Ozzy. I think Mowdy was in the conversation. There's plenty of people that we've had these conversations with. So on the one hand, we're not thinking. On the other hand, we are thinking. He just says shit. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
You're not even thinking about the other one. No atheist can sit here and tell me why I'm wrong, because they haven't thought about it. They've been told this by a teacher, therefore it's true. I mention this all the time on this YouTube channel, but I think it's an excellent example of what I'm talking about. A lot of these atheists actually, they really believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was the one that killed JFK, even though there's more evidence. They have more evidence against.
So what does believing a conspiracy theory about JFK have to do with being an atheist? You just wait.
The fact that Lee Harvey Oswald did it. Then they had for O.J. Simpson killing Nicole Brown Simpson. Like, the evidence is overwhelming, especially that magic bullet theory. I laugh. I mean, I remember when my teacher first told me that, just started cracking up and dying laughing. You know how a bullet can leave your body, make a U-turn, and go back in your body, and then go out, make a U-turn, make go back in your body again. And those knuckleheads actually believe that mess.
So, by the way, if some of you don't know bullet physics, that actually does happen. As someone who was a combat medic in the Army, bullets can and will actually ricochet inside of you. That actually does happen. That's how you have multiple organs being hit by one bullet. That's why you can bleed inside your entire thoracic cavity when a bullet enters your body. It can actually hit your spine, ricochet up, and hit one of your major organs. And guess what? Guess what, folks? You will bleed, you'll get sepsis, and you'll die. That is one of the possibilities. That's actually one of the things that I was trained to recognize, interestingly enough. Now, entering and exiting, that kind of thing, no, that does not happen. But, come on. What does this have to do with being an atheist? There are quite a few. I think actually MP, if I'm not mistaken, referenced this because he admittedly has his own conspiracy theory about JFK. But there's plenty of atheists who would probably agree with G-Man as to how he thinks JFK died. But what does this have to do with the discussion at hand? Nothing.
Because the teacher told them. Because why would a teacher lie to you? So they're forcing their science on us. They're forcing their morality on us. And now they want to try to take away your belief in God. They don't want you to think about that. They make all these videos saying, oh, think about it. You never really looked into this stuff. You just accepted it. You have a blind faith. And then they'll run into a person like myself, like a Dr. William Lane Craig. They'll run into a Ravi Zacharias. They'll run into a...
Notice that he tries to compare himself to Ravi Zacharias, William Lane Craig. That's an interesting comparison.
To a Saitan Brudicate. They'll run into a Matt Slick or somebody like that. And then they'll realize, we have thought about this. We have considered, how do we know that any of this is true? And these are the reasons why we choose to believe it. One ear and out the other one. They completely reject that. They use fake history. They don't use the rules of historicity to come to the conclusion.
Use the rules of historicity. Now, folks, history isn't my strong suit. That's not my wheelhouse. But the rules of historicity, am I missing something here? Maybe I'm back. I'm taking U.S. history 2 over again because it's been several years since I've been to college. But I don't think we're at that part yet. Maybe I'm missing something.
On whether or not a historical figure actually existed. They won't talk about faith and why it's an excellent way to go about determining whether or not whether or not God actually exists. Everything with them is always science. It's always science. It's always science. It's always science because they have turned it into a religion. They'll lie to you and say, well, we use philosophy. No. You use science. We all know this by now. Because whenever you ask us for evidence for the existence of God, you're always asking us for scientific evidence. Going into the conversation, knowing full well that since we're talking about a supernatural deity, a lot of you will sit there and argue, and I'm referring to you atheists out there, you rapists out there, that are going out there trying to force this on people.
You're a rapist out there because atheist, rapist, same thing.
A lot of you would try to say, well, science pretty much understands the natural world we live in. We're talking about a supernatural being. Why are you trying to get me to use science to prove to you about something that's supernatural? Are there other ways to go about determining whether or not something's real? Of course it is. So why are you ignoring it and telling people you're an epistivist in order to try to get away from unbelieving things?
I've only heard 2 people claim to be epistivist, so I'm not sure outside of those 2 people he's talking to, or who he's referencing outside of those 2 people.
Faith. You know what I mean? So they're trying to take away common sense when it comes to science. They're trying to get you to believe in their brand of morality, and then they're trying to get you to stop believing in God so that you can join their depressing death cult, so that you can sit around thinking about killing yourself every day because you don't see any reason for living anymore.
I got grim real quick, folks.
to make believing and pretending that life is all kajiri with them and loving with them and all these different things and whatnot. They'll make fun of religious people, but they will not talk about how atheists are suffering from depression on a regular basis and actually consider killing themselves on a regular basis because they don't believe that life is meaningful. They believe.
Well, that's bullshit. There's actually been quite a few hangouts over the last few months of people talking about mental health. And actually, I have quite a few videos, actually previously, about that and in my life. And it's really interesting what G-Man picks and chooses to mention. How would you even know that atheists are suffering from that if they weren't talking about it, G-Man? I'm a little confused. If we're not discussing the intricacies of mental health, but with I'm confused. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe I misheard. I don't know what Kajiri, I don't know what he means by that either, but whatever. But in all the conversations that I have heard, they've not espoused this nihilistic view as being a reason. Like I'm specifically, I would love G-Man. I know he's not going to do this. Someone specific. Let's specify. Let's stop with the vagaries. Who has said that? Because you know you're bullshitting, G-Man. You know that you're lying. You know that. You know good and goddamn well. No, G-Card, he can read thoughts. I forgot about that. He can read thoughts. I almost forgot. I've talked about my own mental illness. It has nothing to do with like there's no purpose. Like, are you serious? Why would he even wake up? Why would I even go to school? Why would I do anything if that was the case? Like, it is just, I could make up any number of things. I could just go and just fabricate it for a narrative. That's cool. When I mention something, you best believe I got 2 or 3 people, specific people in mind. If you ask me, I'll probably tell you who they are. I'm thinking about. They're just making shit up because it sounds good for a narrative. Anybody can do that. Like G-Man.
That their life is about as meaningful as this twig right here. You know what I mean? And if you don't believe this, then there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. How dare you believe in Jesus Christ? How dare you be a Christian?
Who said that, G-Man? Who's actually said that?
How dare you have your own personal opinions about things? You are an idiot if you don't believe like I do. And that's how, look at these dogs over there looking at me. How you doing? Yeah, but it just cracks me up. It just cracks me up with how they try to sit there and act like they're smarter than everybody else. But when you ask these people straight up, you know.
Y'all notice a theme here? How many times he's mentioned people making fun of him? How many times has he mentioned being mocked and ridiculed? It's not that he's factually wrong about things. That's not the that's not the purpose. That's not the point at any angle. It is that he is being made fun of. People make him feel like an idiot. It's about G-Man's hurt feelings. It should be about, well, who has the best, most accurate, most precise view of what's happening in this big wide world. Let's talk about that. How about that? It's about G-Man and his inability to take criticism and how sensitive that he is and how Sister Cherry and Beckel and David Weiser have to coddle him. That's why they keep getting mentioned. That's why he has to go and run to them, because they enable this man-child. That's what it is at the end of the day. And it's sad. That's probably why I don't respect him. Well, one of the reasons I don't respect him. But, man, oh man, we all should just take a step outside of ourselves and try and put ourselves in the place of a G-Man dick sucker. Can you do that? Can you guys do that for me? You stop being who you are for, oh, he's live. Oh, man, is he upset? Is he mad about something? Good. Be mad, bitch. Be mad. What's he mad about now? Darth Dawkins has just been justified. Oh, God. Okay. He's Crying about Darth Dog. I don't give a shit.
Did the universe have a cause? A lot of them will tell you that they believe that the universe has a cause. Who caused it? What caused it? They'll say a singularity.
Who caused it? Not a loaded question at all.
Where did the singularity come from? And they'll make excuses. They'll try to change the topic. They'll commit logical fallacies.
Like what? What logical fallacy, G-Man?
They'll do anything they can. They'll even start a fight with you, an argument with you, kick you out their room, porn bomb your room. They'll do anything they can than to say that it must have come from an intelligence. Causation is one of the best proofs that God actually exists. As a matter of fact, I was recently challenged by somebody to debate somebody on modern day debates on whether or not God exists. And I'm going to start running with the causation argument a little bit harder than I have in the past, because I believe intelligent design is awesome. Intelligent design is not only smack.
Now, how many of y'all remember who came up with the cause and effect, or who introduced that to this little sphere? True empiricism. When true empiricism had his debate with Ned granted him whatever he wanted. You know what? Premise 1, premise 2, cool. Let's see where it goes. I want to say it was Ned. I might be mistaken, but I think it was Ned. And so what true empiricism deferred to was, well, everything has a cause. We can't have an infinite loop. That had to be a prime mover. God was the cause, universe was effect. Then from there, boom, here we are. That's what it is. Now if you grant that, how he connected to his Christian God, who the fuck knows, right? Just because reasons, that's why. Reasons. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he heard it from another apologist, and so it's just like when fucking Van Til came up with precept, or popularized it way back when, then Bonson, then Bruggencate, then whoever else now, and we get the watered down version of that. Same shit. Now we've made it palpable for idiots. Like this. So since True used it, it's good enough for his boyfriend G-Man. Awesome.
Around evolution, but intelligent design is also a good way to prove that there's definitely an intelligence out there that made us, that we're fine-tuned, are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God, versus this idea of you just being, dirt and fertilizer and everything, or whatever. Or when you die, that's what you're ultimately going to be, even though they can't prove that scientifically. They can't prove you don't have a soul. They can't prove that there is no God. They can't prove that, but then they're going to say, oh, you can't prove that there is a God. Yes, we can. And if I can't prove it with demonstrable empirical evidence, I can certainly give you logical, sound. I can definitely give you logical and reasonable reasons, or good reasons to
reasonable reasons even
exist. I don't have to pick up a book, open up some random page in this book, and then lie about a passage that I never really read before a day in my life.
But that's what you do anyway. So what do you mean you don't have to do that?
How many of you have ever heard an atheist say that God created evil, therefore he's evil? They don't know that the Bible wasn't written in English. Actually, they kind of do, but they play make-believe with you. They like to...
So wait, so first atheists don't know that the Bible was not written in English, but that particular false narrative didn't work. So he had to correct himself and then switch to, well, no, atheists are just lying to themselves and others. So I'm glad that G-Man has to spend some time, because he hasn't done this in a while. He's a little rusty. When he has to make up shit, he has to pick which bullshit line that he wants to use. And we heard it in real time. Rather than him just trying to stop himself, going, you know what, let me think about what I want to say before I say it. Like, I'll just lie. Oops. I didn't mean that lie, folks. Forget I said that. It's stricken from the record. Pick this lie.
Pretend. They don't realize that the Bible was written in Hebrew and in Greek. They don't understand that the Hebrew words that is used will have different meanings.
Now he went back to, we don't understand that, but he just said that we do, but that we're lying. So now he's back to the original lie.
Meanings than what we understand it today. As a matter of fact, words are changing all the time. So when they see the word evil there, they automatically believe that's a moral evil. That's not the case. They're talking about a calamity there. And a calamity, and creating a calamity and creating moral evil are two entirely different things. But atheists will never admit that because they're too busy trying to force you to buy into their ridiculous worldview.
But this is interesting. This is a newer angle for G-Man. This is a newer angle because before he wasn't really concerned with the original text, the Koine Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, whatever. Because when people used to bring that up to him, I don't know, such as when he was telling people that you could go and sleep with another woman if your wife gave you permission, and people brought up, like, you know what, let's kind of look at this text in its original language, get some context. He didn't care. And any other time past that, especially when he was talking to another Christian, when they would bring up the original languages, he didn't give a shit because he had the King James Bible. And that's what he would always defer to. But now, folks, now, he cares about what it says in its original. And, folks, language changes every day. Because we didn't know that. So, this is interesting. We should put a pin in this. Because this is going to be important later. Very important. Because of someone like, I know Dr. Josh is done with him. But, like I said, Dr. Josh says, you know what, let's pick that and talk about it. And this idiot catches wind of it. You know what? He has two choices. He can either say, well, Dr. Josh is an atheist, and for some reason, language changes if you're an atheist, and your interpretation of language changes based on your religious beliefs, or he can abandon this and just say, so what? I believe God, Veckel will help me. True empiricism will call me later and make me feel better. I don't care. Like, he has a few choices here, so I'm curious what he's going to actually choose.
A worldview that says that only atheism's right. Let me repeat that because I kind of enjoy saying that. A worldview that says that only atheism is right.
So someone has a summary of G-Man's current whining. I was interrupted, therefore DD is 100% right in everything he does. Oh, okay. So when he would interrupt people constantly, did that make everyone else right about him? Like, he's just whining now.
And theism is incorrect. Never really gave it any real thought, though. Steve Bowden, God doesn't need to release an authoritative edition of the Bible. God has already given us His Bible. He's already given us His Word. We have teachers. We have prophets. We have everything we need in this world today to come to the conclusion that not only that God exists, because that's nothing. You know what I mean? The real issue is whether or not you know Christ is your Savior. We have everything that we need here. Everything to come to a sound, rational conclusion that Christ did everything that He said He did. You know, that's basically live according to the law without breaking any of it. Was the righteous requirement for the law for us to have our sins to be forgiven. You know what I mean? For Him to be our atonement for our sins. We have everything we need here on the earth. The only people that's claiming that we don't have it are atheists, because, you know, they'll claim that seminaries don't exist. They'll claim that Bible colleges don't exist. They'll claim that churches don't exist.
What?
Anytime they want, they can go to their local church and they can go to their pastors and they can ask their pastors, look, I don't understand this passage of scripture. They can do that anytime, but they're not interested in that. They're tired of being laughed at. Like right now, we got some people in our community right now that looks like they're tired of being laughed at. They want to be accepted by the atheist community. So now they're considering
being accepted. They're tired of being laughed at. Again, I pointed this out earlier, folks. It's not about having factual information. It's not about, you know what, trying to gain a better perspective on reality. It's about being laughed at and mocked at. Some of us don't fucking care. Some of us really just don't. Like, if you are coming to the internet for affirmation, you're probably in the wrong place, my dude. The wrong place. don't get me wrong. You can find people that will follow behind you if you pretend that you know something. If you have somewhat of the shibboleth, just a little bit of it, there's people out there that'll follow behind you. But if that's what you want, right? There's probably, I think I said this last night I was on Discord. I think there's one person on this inner tubes in this stupid community that I am actually trying to impress. There's actually one person. Outside that, everybody else can eat a dick. And I mean that. There's one dude who actually means something, and it ain't Scientist Sam, because he can eat a Jewish dick. But it is interesting that that's what he focuses on here. That's what is in the back of his mind. People are making fun of him. So he then kind of like projects that onto other people, because if he cares about that, then other people must care about that. And I'm pretty sure he's mentioning Shani and Rev. Probably, maybe, I don't know. Look, if Shani can wear some of the shit that she wears to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, and yes, I saw that video, I'm pretty sure Shani don't really care what people think. Because wouldn't have been me. So I think that's who he's talking about, but I don't think that she really cares. If I had to say, if I had to guess, pretty sure she don't fucking care. But we'll see. Let's see what he says.
Atheism as a possibility for them. I'm not going to name who they are. But the point of the matter is you can tell they're going that route. You can tell that they're going that route. Let me encourage some of you out there. All right? Yes, if you
I can't imagine what Jeek encouragement looks like.
come out and say that you're a Christian or a theist, a Muslim, or whatever, you know what I mean? If you come out and you say those things, yes, atheists are going to laugh at you. They're going to mock you. They're going to call you names and everything. They're going to say, you believe that a God created you with all the science that we have to talk about what's going on in the world? Don't get mad. Don't get upset. Don't get flabbergasted. Don't let them get
Flabbergasted, that's a new word for him.
under your skin when they say that stuff. You say, yes, I do believe that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. Then say this. Why do you believe you share a common ancestor with a dog or a cat? Do you really believe you share a common ancestor with a gerbil? Like, we can talk DNA. We can talk about these new.
You haven't talked about, well, excuse me, you have talked about DNA. You've not really had a discussion concerning genetics. So yes, G-Man, you're on the right track, kind of, sort of, not really.
Features that will be created through your mutations that would prove that I share a common ancestor with a dog or a cat. Let me tell you guys when I really started getting really headstrong about evolution and about rejecting. Let me tell you when this really happened to me. I started asking atheists when I didn't even know nothing about it.
So here is where his paradigm shift happened. It wasn't because he went and learned something. It's not that he went to a library, picked up some goddamn books. It's not that he went to a university to go actually learn some of this stuff from people in the field. It has nothing to do with him getting his hands dirty on his own, trying to learn something. It's when he had a discussion online on YouTube, because that's how you learn about topics, is modern day debates and having debates on your channel. That's how you, okay.
And I got suspicious about this. I used to ask them this question. I used to be like, well, what is the next step in human evolution? And they'll say, we're probably going to be, humans down the road, but maybe we might have bigger feet or something like that. I don't know. Which is true, because you have people with bigger feet and smaller feet and whatnot. But they never wanted to come out and say that we'll be a different type of animal in a trillion years.
So because he asked people what we're going to look like in the future when we continue to evolve, and that's not under the purview of you can't predict what form something's going to really take in the future. We've not gotten to that point yet, and that's not really part of the paradigm, but whatever. But he thinks it is. So because people didn't give him the answer he wanted, he's suspicious. That's because some of you who have not followed him for years may not remember him asking this question. I do. Like 4 or 5 years ago, he was asking people this question because he thought it was a gotcha, right? And so when you were asking him, G-Man, where do you get that from? Well, that's what evolution teaches. Who said that, G-Man? Where are you getting that from? He would never answer. And I encourage people, because he looks like he's going in that direction again, ask him where he got that from. Ask him what evolutionary biologist is going to tell you what shape an animal is going to take in the future. Where? Who said it? Give me some citation. Because that's not really how that works. Now, if you were talking about specific physical traits that you may be able to predict based on a whole host of evolutionary science. You've been studying the genomes of hundreds of animals, and you're starting to notice a trend. You're starting to notice that this gene that controls this phenotype is starting to wane over, X number of generations. You might be able to make a prediction about that. There was one that I heard this morning about maybe in the future we might lose the function of our pinkies. Might not even have pinkies anymore because the nerves that go to the pinky finger are beginning to get fused to the ring finger. That's why when you pull this finger down, the ring finger comes with it. So maybe not. Who knows? But that's all speculative. Incredibly speculative. That's as much as I'm able to give based on what I know. But I've not read any book, and any of the ones that I have, just say that you can predict what an animal or a creature or organism is going to look like in X number of generations. So he's bringing it back, folks, and I love it. When he brings back bullshit, I will tell you exactly what to tell him, because he is then going to know that that's not going to work anymore.
Going forward, a human being is always a human being, and I know Jungle Jargon is going to get a kick out of this. If you go forward in the theory of evolution, a human being is always a human being. But if you go backwards, you can go all the way back to a shrew. You can go all the way back to a rat. For crying out loud, you can go back to a rock. You can go back to a rock. These people.
So here's what it is. We're talking about macroevolution. Homo sapien was not always a thing. You go back 1.5 million years, was no real Homo sapien, right? So if we go forward a million years, would there be Homo sapien? Probably not. Might be Homo sapien nouveau. Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Maybe. But I don't know about y'all, but I can't predict the future. Have no idea. So maybe G-Man can get us some citations on when we predicted the species before it arose, because I'm not familiar with that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything. Matter of fact, if I did know everything, I wouldn't be going to the lab in about an hour. I'd already, you know what? I know what the gene is. Here's a pathway to synthesize it. Let's clone it. Let's get it. Actually, oh shit. Actually, we should have our sequence back today.
Believe they share a common ancestor with a twig. And you're laughing at me about being created by another human being, which women have a reproductive system,
Who is laughing at you that we were created by people? Like you were created by a woman and I was created by a woman at some point. Like who is laughing about that? I think you may have your entities mixed up.
System and have babies all the time. What's so funny about that? What's so funny about that?
Quit laughing at me.
But trust me.
Oh, WoW Classic servers are back up. I'll be on it later today. I'll be around later today.
I'm not walking around telling people that this is my cousin right here. You are. I'm not going around going to the Bronx Zoo, the Philadelphia Zoo, or any kind of zoo telling people that my cousin is running around like a pig, walling around in the mud. That's you teaching that. If anybody should be laughed at, it should be you.
But let's take it to another level on how they're raping us and how they're trying to force their...
My God, is he a fucking victim? How they're raped? No, there are people who are actually being sexually assaulted and raped, G-Man. You're not one of them, unfortunately.
Their disgusting worldviews on us. Let's take it to another level. They want you to kill your unborn babies. Atheists, most of these people that call themselves atheists, and this is how they try to get around it so that they don't sound so bad. Oh, I support the right for a woman to choose. So you support baby murder. You support the killing of babies.
God, that was loud. That was louder than his actual voice.
The reasons why you didn't want to believe in God. See, and that was another thing that made me think about atheism in a totally different light.
Oh, by the way, folks, there are no atheists who are pro-life. Sokka doesn't exist. There's actually, what was his name? There's a guy, can't remember the name of the show, but there are definitely no secular people who are pro-life at all. So thank you, G-Man. Thank you.
And that was the sense that they didn't like God because God killed babies. Apparently, he wanted to dash them upon the rocks. But these atheists won't even give these babies a chance to even be born because they'll kill them before they can even go. You know what I mean? And they're trying to force that on you as being a worldview by teaching your children this when they're real little.
Because me and my son definitely have conversations about being pro-life and pro-choice in between us playing Roblox together. That's definitely a conversation that you have with children.
Trying to convince them that it's okay to murder unborn babies. Use their cells after they kill these babies to try to cure things like that.
Ooh, here we go. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all catch that? I'm actually going to stop it here because I have better things to do today. So, for those of you who don't know, embryonic stem cells don't come from murdered babies. That's not really how that works. Now, are some used in abortions? Some, yeah. But you don't need to actually kill them to do that if you want to go with that narrative. That's not actually how you can actually get stem cells from living babies, believe it or not. And you don't actually have to harvest them from the baby. Even better, there's this thing called an umbilical cord that contains lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff that you can use in there. Just saying. But it's G-Man. It's G-Man. Is it a shame that, people are aborting their babies? That's fine. But some people find it acceptable because that's their fucking life. And it is what it is. It is what it is, I'm not going to help that woman potentially who's going to go and choose to do that. I'm not going to help her raise that kid and then tell her that she can't do that. That's her life. Is anyone actually happy about, people are going to get abortions? I don't think anyone's happy about that. I think people would much rather prevent the pregnancy and not have to go through that because that's not a fun procedure for women. It's really not. Like it's if you actually watch what an abortion is, I don't think anyone goes, yeah. So as much as G-Man likes to depict this, I don't think he understands some of the finer points of it as far as to what people are trying to prevent. Because if you start telling people how to regulate their reproduction, it's a slippery slope, legally especially. So stem cells and placenta, yeah. Yes, you can get some from the placenta. You can get it from a lot of places, actually. Well, I say a lot. There's a few key places that you can get embryonic stem cells. The pluripotent stem cells, the one that you have to induce, are not as stable as the ones that are from embryos. So, unfortunately, yeah. But yes, there's a bit of irony here with G-Man talking about taking care of kids. Little irony there. Little irony. So, anyway, fucking father of the year here. All right, folks. That's it. I gotta go put my lab coat in the dryer. I'm gonna be do some work in the lab today since I think our sequences are back and I'm not sure what we're gonna how we view the sequences. It's like gonna be my third day in the lab. I got to also work with actually shout out to fucking Doc Savage for it fucking clutch, man. I had to contact this man because I was working with it's a plate reader. It's like Infinite M200 Tecon TECAN, and I could not figure out how to get it to read the excitation and the emissions, the ones that we wanted, because Dr. Stevens wasn't there, and so my PI really had no idea how to do it. But I contacted Doc Savage. This man pulled up the manuals and stuff and emailed them to me, and man, just so, man. Anyway, so yeah, thanking Sam providing some clarification on the induced pluripotent stem cell. It's better get them from the source, folks. Better get them from the source. So Doc Savage came through, folks. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to listen to the G fucking cry session on Modern Day Debate. Like I've been dealing with this dude over 6 years. There's probably nothing that he said on there that I haven't heard before. You know he can't control his goddamn self. None of this is fucking really new. None of it at all. I just wish he would have used his big boy voice on here, you know. Is it pronounced T-Can? Okay, T-Can. Okay. T-Can. So, y'all have... Actually, how about this? I'll play y'all out. How about that? We'll do that one. We'll do that one.
The announcement is this. I'm going to be doing a Google Hangout next Friday. Not today, but next Friday. And that particular Google Hangout will be focused on primarily one thing. I'm asking everyone to bring their own personal rap to this particular Google Hangout.
I'm gonna expose myself on YouTube. I'm gonna make a YouTube video embarrassing myself.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, I got to tell you about the fabulous, most groovy
G-Man. You know you're breaking the law right now. I will stomp a mud hole in you, sir. I am not playing, Dragnet.
My name is G-Man.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity.
My name is G-Man.
You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
So big in this guy be.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City.
G-Man.
You got the audacity. You're going to jail. You got the audacity.
My name is G-Man.
You got the audacity. That's all I got to say. You got the audacity. I stole $3,000. You got the audacity. You got the audacity. Because you don't got no evidence.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
So big in this guy be.
My name is G-Man. My name is G-Man.
You can't beat me in fighting. You can't beat me in chemistry. You can't beat me in biology. You can't even walk better than me. You can't outrun me. Dude, you can't even out-talk me. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey City.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Preaching to the Choir Ministries.
Peace.